Welcome to a Building a Bulletproof Profit Plan training. Over the next 20 to 30 minutes, I'm going to walk you through how to build a profit plan that really keeps you not only focused and action oriented, but also keeps you accountable to the income goals that you have for yourself and for your business. My name is Sarah Williams. I am the owner of Rebel Office. I am also the host inside the collective, Rebel Office's membership for female founders running businesses in the online space. I've been an entrepreneur, and Rebel Office has been in operation for nearly 5 years now. And something that I've really learned is how to prioritize profit, because I know how easy it can be to really feel like you maybe shouldn't charge as much as you actually should, or that you should really help out family and friends and give that stuff away for free because you have the skill set, when really, in order to keep your business running and in order to keep serving people that you want to actually serve, you need to charge money. Otherwise, you can't support yourself, you can't sustain your business, you can't keep offering your services. So this profit plan today and what we're going to work on today is really important because it helps you to not only set income goals for yourself, but really identify what action items can help you bring in those sales into your business, and how you can kind of price yourself and increase those prices over time as you build experience, so you can build that confidence and reach your wildest dreams of income. I'm going to switch on over to my screen. Make sure you grab the spreadsheet below because it's what we're going to be working on. In the spreadsheet, there are instructions on how to save a copy to your own Google Drive. If you don't have Google Drive, you can also just download as an Excel spreadsheet or whatever spreadsheet software that you use. See you in 2 seconds. Okay, so this is the profit plan template that we are going to walk through today. As I just mentioned, there are a few benefits of building a profit plan. One, clarity. So you're going to be able to see everything mapped out. Two, directions. So we're going to also break down action items so that you know exactly what you need to be working on and when you need to be working on it. And then, of course, accountability, right? So something that I'm going to probably say a few times during this training is that when you set these goals for yourself, say for January, or whatever month this month is for you, then what you're really going to do is you're going to have goals for yourself, and you're going to look at this and say, look, until midnight on the last day of January, I have until then to reach this goal. And if not, then it carries on to the next one. Don't let it drop. Make sure that you keep carrying it through so that you do hit the income goals that you want. So it really is this level of accountability. If you use this spreadsheet as kind of like your cornerstone strategic plan for your business, it's really going to help you not only serve the people that you want to serve, but hit those income goals as well. So let's get started. I want to walk you through, there are basically 5 steps to building a profit plan, and that's what I'm going to go through with you today. So the very first one is identifying your products and services. It seems pretty simple, you would think, but you really want to make sure that you are clear on what it is that you're actually offering. And it's okay if you obviously offer some things at different times of the year. You want everything that you offer for the time period that you're planning for. This spreadsheet is for 12 months, for a whole year. But if you want to also just build a profit plan for the first quarter, which we can work on today just to keep things simple. But say we're working on the first quarter of the year, get super clear on what it is that you're offering during that time. So there are different things, obviously, that you can offer. I am a huge advocate for diversifying revenue streams. So I think it's okay to have, say, one-on-one kind of a high-ticket product or service. And then you could also maybe do a group program at that mid-range, and then a low-risk investment for people, say like a digital product or a membership or whatever. I'll be using Rebel Office also as an example throughout this training so that you can see how we pull it together, and so that it'll make a lot more sense. So for example, I want you to start here at A11. So what is the very first offer that you want to have? So let's say, for example, it's a one-on-one monthly retainer coaching, or say you have a website package or a brand strategy package or social media management package, whatever it is you do, what's that kind of high tiered item? And then basically how this is structured is you'll eventually, when we set goals in the next step, we'll be able to identify how many clients you can take on for that, and then also kind of the duration of that, what's your capacity throughout that period. But for now, say you also have a digital product to complement your one-on-one services. So you have kind of your services that are associated with your time, and you also have one that's more passive. So I'll use Rebel Office as an example. We have our membership, The Collective. Okay, so now what we want to do is step 2 is set your sales goals. And it's okay also, going back to step 1, if you have more than 2. I totally support you having more than 2. Just make sure that it's all listed. So if you need to copy and paste to another row down here, make sure that you do that, and make sure that this really outlines all of your services. Okay, so actually let me zoom in just so that we can all make sure that we see everything. It's big, but we see it. Okay, so now we want to set goals. So say you know that for your monthly retainer, you can take up to 5 clients. So let's just add this in here. Client 4 and client 5. So at any point in time, you can have up to 5 clients. Now, actually, let's change this from a monthly retainer to, let's say, like a 4-month package. Whatever that is for you, if it takes you 4 months to build a website, or if it takes you 4 months to run people through a coaching package that you have, whatever it is. So say for the very first month of the year, you just want to land 1 client. That is your target. So you can now, you know that if you sign 1 client in January, you're actually going to have that client all the way through April, because it's a 4-month program. Does that make sense? So let's just toss in some gray there so that this is now blocked off. And then say for February, you know you have that 1 client, but you want to sign another one in February. Okay, great. Again, you know that that is a 4-month commitment for them. And say, depending on where you are in your business, you could be just starting, you could already have clients, so you're going to want to make sure that you account for that. So say in March of that year, you want to sign 2. You want to sign 2 more so that you get up to 4 clients. Whoop. Is that right? 1, 2, 3. That's too many. Okay. Right. So this is you setting your goals. So your unit goal 1, here you have 2, here you have 4, 4. And then again, ignore these units. So these, I'll delete all these so that they're free in your template. So now you can go through and then say, okay, well, if we're going to keep going in May, you're ready to sign on another one to keep it at 4. Okay, well then you would go ahead and keep going. We'll focus on the first 3 months. So let's say that let's focus on the first 3 months. So for January, your target is 1 high ticket client. For February, it's 2, and for March, it's 4. Okay, so then now let's jump down to the membership. Say you have, or a digital product. How many units do you want to sell for that time? Okay, so this is a little bit different. If it's a one-time purchase, this is going to be different. Say you want to sell 10 every month of 1 unit. If it's a membership or subscription-based product, of course, it's going to kind of add on to each other. So say the first month, for example, here, you have a target of 20 members, and then you want to, by the next month, get 5 more, so you'll have a total of 25. And then you want to get 10 more, so you'll have a total of 35 members, right? So it's not necessarily, it's kind of building on itself instead of individual sales. So let's, again, maybe I won't use, let's do a digital product here instead. Okay, so say you want to sell 10 per month. All right, we're only doing every 3 months, or the first 3 months, okay. So 10 for the first 3 months each month. That's your goal, okay? And again, when you're building a profit plan, you want to make sure that it's manageable, it's attainable, it's realistic, but you also want to be ambitious. You want to push yourself here. So if you think, okay, well, maybe I'll start with 5 just to make sure everything's streamlined, it's working, I'm validating my idea, and then I'm going to jump to 10, and then I'm going to jump to 15, and I'm going to keep scaling it that way. You can also think like that too, but for this, let's keep it simple. Now we are going to jump into step number 3, which is setting and increasing prices. So since we're only working on the first 3 months, we'll just focus on setting prices, but I strongly recommend that you increase prices throughout the year or as your business is going. So for example, say every 6 months, you increase the price of your 4-month package or your high ticket package. Say it's $4,500 and you want to increase it to $6,000 at the end of a 6-month period. Another way that you can look at this too is looking at it and saying, okay, well, once I run 5 clients through this, I'm going to increase the prices because I know I have the experience to back it up. I've worked through those kinks, and I've been able to streamline and make sure that the experience is now at that higher price level, or 10 or whatever number of clients it is that you feel comfortable. Increasing prices is so important for actually scaling your income, and it's totally allowed. And you don't even need to make a big deal out of it. So increasing prices, a quick note about this, is super handy because you can create some urgency. So you can market it and say, at the end of this month, my prices are increasing. If you want in at this price, make sure that you book now. Urgency, great. That's really good for selling. A lot of people too sometimes just increase their prices. Once, for example, what I do with Rebel Office and our monthly retainer package, once I've signed on 3 to 4 clients at a certain price point, I raise the price. And I don't announce it. The next person I get on a discovery call, the price is a little bit higher. And that's just kind of how I've been doing it since Rebel Office started. So there's different ways that you can increase prices. Make sure that you think about that as you work through this and you set prices for yourself throughout the rest of this time period or how long you plan for. Make sure that you are increasing that price at least once over a 12-month period, okay? That's my challenge for you. Okay, so now, for example, let's set a price for this monthly package. So depending on where you are in your business, how comfortable you feel, whatever your deliverables are, let's keep it super simple and say that you're selling a 4-month package at $2,000. It's $500 a month for them, right? So now is where it kind of gets tricky and you need to think about what your payment plans are. For example, because this is broken down by month, and even here you can put the price in here, because you know that if they're paying monthly, it's actually $500 a month that you would be bringing in. So make sure that you break it down by payment plan for them so that you know, and so that it's going to be a more accurate representation of the time period. Okay, so since we're only working on this first quarter in this example, of course, this would keep going. And say even maybe around here, you would increase that to $4,000 or $3,500. Then what would that look like in a monthly payment? Okay, so super fun activity. And now you can start to see how much you're actually bringing, or your goal is to bring in for that month. And of course, this is only for your one service offering, right? So as you start to work on your other offerings and diversifying your revenue streams, you're going to see money coming in different chunks at different levels, in different ways. So now let's jump on down to a digital product. So let's say your digital product, you start at, I don't know, $97, right? So let's say for the first 3 months, it's at $97. And then after in quarter two, you want to increase it to $127 or whatever it is. So now all of a sudden by February, you're bringing in $1,900 into your business. By Q3, you're bringing in almost $3,000, right? So this is how you can start to see different ways that you can bring money into your business, as well as kind of what your targets are. So I know it's a lot, and you say, well, how am I even going to get those 4 clients in March? How is that even going to happen? One, you already have 2 because you've got them in January and February. So you only need to find 2 new ones. Sorry. But now let's start to think about step number 4, which is the strategic actions or your acquisition strategy. How are you going to bring people in? So something fun that's really good to do is to look at, okay, so for this 4-month package, what are all the different ways that I can bring clients into this? How can I do that? So you could say, okay, well, maybe every month I do a free training, right? And then maybe I can also have some, offer some free strategy calls. So that could either be part of the training, or it could just be, look, I have 15 minutes, let's hop on a call if you want to work on this one very specific problem that you can then upsell or talk to them about other solutions to help them with that issue. Something else is, okay, well, I'm going to write 4 blog posts that directly call people to or address the issue or concern that this package solves. And then I'm going to direct them to a discovery call or signing up for the program or whatever it is. So you can really start to think about IGTV videos, Instagram posts, absolutely everything that you can do to, for example, like live Q&As. Sorry, now I'm just brainstorming for you. But basically what you want to do is think about every possible way that you can now show that you're an expert in the specific area that your service solves for the client, so, or customer. So what you want to think about is your customer or client has a problem. Your service isn't the solution. They have a solution in mind that they want. So say they are, say they're overweight. This is like the easiest example, and they want to lose 50 pounds. Okay, well, that's their solution. So working with you is kind of the medium or the transformation that needs to happen in order for that to happen, or in order for them to hit their goals. Does that make sense? So really think about that, and how can all of the stuff that you're putting out there acquire people into this service for you by you positioning yourself as a pro and being kind of the voice of authority that's like, okay, when someone sees it, they're like, she must have a solution for this. I need to talk to her because she totally understands what I'm going through. Does that make sense? So think about that. Same with digital product, right? So what are the different ways that you can bring people into that? So blog posts, again, great. Sort of evergreen funnels, like digital trainings, for example, or freebies, lead magnets that then have a digital product as a tripwire. And if you don't know what that means, so basically when you sign up for something for free, you get redirected to a thank you page or an access page. And a lot of the times on that page, there's a little bit of an upsell. It's something super affordable, normally a digital product that is kind of like a no-brainer purchase. So it's super affordable and low risk for other people, for the people that have signed up, but then it also helps you generate money. So that's one way as well. There's really so many ways. You can have an online shop. You can figure out different distribution channels like Etsy and your own shop and Amazon and all of that stuff. So really just sit down and think, okay, what are all the action items that I can do? And it's okay if you need to add more items on this list. Luckily with a spreadsheet, it's super easy. Get all your ideas out first, and then go back and say, okay, how can I simplify this? How can I streamline this? What makes sense for my business? It's okay if there's other people doing stuff that you're like, well, I mean, I see it's working for them, so it might work for me, but I really don't want to do it, so don't do it because your energy won't be behind it. So that's just something to think about. Make sure that you have 3 to 5 kind of sales action items, or marketing action items that will funnel people into helping you reach those goals. And again, if you say do one free training and you're not getting people to sign up, do another one. Share the replay. Get people on the phone. Just figure out a way. If it's not working right away, and it might not, and that's okay. It's really all about consistency, people starting to see that they can rely on you for certain things. It's really about building that voice of authority through these action items so that people will say, well, of course I need to learn from her. I need to buy from her because she knows what she's doing. And again, that might take some time to build up, but that's okay. So really think about, okay, how can I get on the ground now, and get kind of boots on the ground and get those clients? And then how can I build stuff long-term to start working for me and streamline that? So yeah, the 5th step is really do the work. So for example, tips to get started. It's so easy to get wrapped up in the numbers and constantly calculating things, but at some point you need to stop planning. Once you've set this in stone, you're comfortable with it, get to work, do the work, put in the time to make those numbers happen, because the more that you do it, the easier it gets. Of course, the more clients you acquire, the greater the experience they have. They're going to become your brand ambassadors, and word of mouth is really the strongest form of marketing that's out there. But it really is upfront. How do you get started? So I have a couple of tips that are really helpful, actually. Number one is do market research. And there's a couple of reasons why I say this. Market research, one, and this, yes, you can do a survey. I highly recommend you get on the phone with people, hop in a Facebook group and say, I'm really looking to connect with people who are going through this, this, and this. I'm not selling you anything. I just would really like your input because I'm thinking about trying something new or pivoting in my business, whatever it is. Be honest, because people see through that. And then get on the phone with people. And what that does is, one, you start to hear the language that they're using to describe their problems, but it's also getting you in front of people. Like 8, 9 times out of 10 that I've gotten on a market research call, people ask how they can work with me. And I say, well, it's not really about that. I'd be happy to send you some information. But for now, I just really want to say thank you for your time. And let's either reconnect or I'll shoot you an email afterward. And then you also grab their email. So market research is really cool for that. You don't, of course, want to go in thinking you're going to sell, but it often works that way because your package is solving a problem that they have that you've initially drawn in for them. Another thing you can do is kind of beta launch for experience. So if you don't necessarily want to charge right away, or say, for example, a 4-month package, you want to try it out first. So you want to give them and also, sorry, I was just thinking what you can do too if you change prices for each person, like I'm about to talk about. So say, for example, for your first client, you're like, look, I really just need experience. This is a new package or service offering. I would love to give it to you for 50% off. Okay, great. So you know that she's actually going to be paying $250 a month because she's getting it half off. And then client 2 is going to be up at $500. And likewise. So you can just keep going on and increase prices that way instead of having it in this bar right here. If it's a rolling over kind of a revolving door package like this, that might be the easiest way. Okay, so that's just something to think about. Beta launches are super helpful because it gets you testimonials. Like I said, word of mouth is huge. So getting in front of the right people is really important. And reaching out to people who are your ideal client and saying, look, I'm really just would like to try this out. Would you be willing to do a strategy call with me and we can talk about this, or we can tackle this? And it's totally free in exchange for your feedback and maybe a review. So that's one way too that you can start to build that up. And I know that, again, you want to make money right away, but sometimes patience is a virtue, and really just taking the time to build that experience will take you like years and get you there so much quicker in the long run. Okay. So again, too, also in the spreadsheet, something I didn't talk about is I also use the spreadsheet to actually track what's coming in. So if I don't hit my goals or if I exceed them, I like to see it in here. Don't be too hard on yourself if you don't hit them. I know I said to use this as accountability and don't give up. But sometimes it just doesn't happen, and that's okay. For whatever circumstance, life happens. So that's okay. Either roll it over or just be aware of it. It's really important to say, okay, what's working, what's not, look at it and say, okay, how can I fix that? If I'm not hitting my goals every month, maybe I need to address these action items. Maybe I'm not doing enough there, or I need to find ways that maybe take less of my time because I'm stressed and I can't serve the clients I have, but that have a larger reach. So that's where you start to leverage partnerships and paid advertisements and stuff like that. So that tips to get started. Oh, and work on evergreen stuff in the background. So like I said, yes, there's going to be stuff that you need to get boots on the ground, do the hustle, get those clients up front. But it's also important to work on building that sustainable, kind of streamlined, automated systems in the background to get you sales too, because we all started our businesses to find a little bit more freedom in our lifestyles, for creativity, financially. So finding the time to work on that kind of sustainable, the system stuff in the background is also really important. Okay, so I would love to know what you guys think of that. That's basically it. It's way easier when you have the spreadsheet open and you're starting to play around with it. And we're coming up on the 30-minute mark, so I don't want to take too much of your time. But really, oh, and sorry, this section up here is for when you start to think about, okay, what can I put out there? What sort of systems can I put in place to create that evergreen kind of always the sales funnel? In the online space, it's normally through email sales sequences and stuff like that. So that's for up here, and you can just kind of check mark when it's running and when it's not, because of course we always are promoting different things at different times. So this is the spreadsheet. Take your time with it. If you have any questions at all, reach out to me or join the Rebel Office membership, because the support system and community in there is so helpful. Bounce ideas off of them with this, as well as if you're really just starting to think about what your business model should even look like, if you don't know that yet, or if you even just need tools or different sorts of tactics to learn from industry experts on how to scale your business in a way that actually works for you, not what other people are doing, but what works for you. We have all of those trainings and that sort of community and support inside the Rebel Office membership. So again, below this video, under the button for your spreadsheet, there's some more information on joining the collective, which is our membership. And it really is, if you need support on, or even the accountability to like execute this plan, or ideas on what those action items could be, the community is really, really great for that. So again, thank you so much for tuning in. Congratulations on really prioritizing profit. You've got this, okay? And myself, the Rebel Office team, everyone in the membership, we've all got your back. So good luck and have fun making money.